Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast. This is podcast number 54, and we got a pretty bad one today, guys. Pretty sad one to say the least. But let's go off to the panel, starting off with my boy Christian. How you doing, bro?
Been doing better. The circus is officially back in town, so kick back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, well said. And we're also joined, of course, by Nando. Nando, how you doing, dude?
Hey man, listen. At least we get free tickets to the circus. Um, Fuck it, dude. It's boys, just get ready. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. We're used to it. But like you said, man, it's gonna be a hell of a vent fest. I'm assuming here on today's podcast.
Yeah, a lot to talk about, of course. We did miss the game last week, but we'll briefly mention it. So Sporting went to the Bessa last week and tied 1-1 against Boavista. Goals coming from Bruno Fernandes, the only guy that knows how to score at Sporting. Our 11 was as followed. We had Renan Ribeiro in net, Val Rosier, right back, Luis Neto substituting the, at the time, suspended Coach, with Mathieu and Borja completing the defense. We had Wendell, Doumbia, and Bruno Fernandes in midfield with Acuna, Plata, and Bolasie. And it was also Lionel Ponce's first game in charge. And then, of course, we had cameos or substitutions of Jesse Rodriguez, Rafael Camacho, and Eduardo Henrique towards the end of the game. Christian, I'll start off with you. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, it started out obviously disastrously. They scored a really nice free kick, so we were down 1-0 inside 5 minutes, which is always tough, especially on the road. I mean, after that, the game, we didn't really create an ample amount of opportunities or anything like that. Boavista had their dangerous moments as well. It wasn't, the most incredible game that we played. I've seen us, play worse than that and scrape a result, but it really wasn't our game. I thought Bolasie had his best of the 3 games that he's played for us, and kind of gave all of us, maybe like, oh, okay, maybe Bolasie, maybe we actually, got a good reinforcement. But, at the end of the day, he's just a big goon, and he's pretty useless. Also, not a center forward, and that's kind of really where he's gonna play most. I imagine, especially if they want to stick with the 4-4-2. There literally isn't a second striker, so someone has to kind of invent to be in that spot. So they're just like, oh, he's big, he can hold it up, put him up there. So I'll talk more about Bolasie later, because he's kind of one of the weirdest players I've ever seen, in the sense that, like, he's known for, like, his incredible skill and, taking guys on one-on-one or one-on-one, but at the same time, how can a player whose main, threat is, one-on-one dynamic also have, like, such a poor touch and such like poor coordination?
A heavy foot.
He's like a supercharged, like, more like, he's like a slightly more coordinated, better foot skilled Seydou Doumbia, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, the same, like, big touches, the same, like, just
constantly
like,
missing the net,
doesn't know how to
like,
control the ball. Like,
yeah.
It seems like he's, like, constantly, like, out of control when he's running. So yeah, I think he's probably a dud, but he got our hopes up this game. He played pretty well. He was pretty dangerous, had a couple chances. But yeah, overall, not a great performance. And even on our goal, we were kind of lucky to score off that deflection. So definitely one to forget.
Yeah, and I believe Bolasie won man of the match that game, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Which was, like you said, it was a glimmer of hope. But anyways, Nando, what were your thoughts on the Boavista game, and also on actually we'll discuss that later. But yeah, your thoughts on the Boavista game.
Yeah, so unfortunately I didn't get to watch this game. I watched some of it, not all of it. The other ones I didn't. We'll get to that in a second. But from what I watched and what I read and listened to, because I caught most of it on the radio, like we already discussed, it was Lionel Ponce's first game. The Sporting doesn't really have an identity. It looks like he's going to want to go with a 4-4-2. He seems to have played pretty
be fair,
safe.
this game he did 4-4-3. To be fair,
was it a 4-4-3 to start?
This game it was. The other two were 4-4-2.
That's right. Yeah. You're right. Did he switch to 4-4-2 at all during the game though? When he made the subs in, I felt like I saw them slightly play a little 4-4-2. But you're right. They did start 4-4-3 with Miguel Luis and Wendell, Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, you're right. He kind of played it safe in my opinion with Bolasie starting. Vieto starting. Kind of expected, Rozier and everything like that. I'm looking at the lineup right now. There's not much to be said about the team for that game. I mean, we had no clue what his identity was going to be going into the game. It was just kind of like, let's hope that a change of coach and a change of air would do well for Sporting, but more of the same. They didn't really play well a lot in the game. They seemed a little lost. They got lucky on their goal, that deflection off of Bruno Fernandes. Towards the end, Bruno Fernandes obviously gets the red card, and then the whole thing in the locker room. But I don't think Sporting showed much promise. I think Christian kind of talked a little bit. To me, Bolasie showed a little bit of intrigue, but he's kind of an enigma. The other games he's been kind of up and down. Let's see here. They had... I'm trying to look at the stats for the game because I just had it pulled up. I mean, we had 2 more shots than Boavista. We had more possession, but that was kind of for nothing because we didn't really create much. It was kind of like one of those awkward games, guys. There was nothing there that really was enthusiastic to watch. I think Boavista played the better game. They played at home. They took care of business, got at least a point, and Sporting once again just looked a little lost and in search of an identity that wasn't there. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, exactly. And then quickly, just to brush up on it.
I apologize a little bit. I realized that I kind of messed up on one of the 2 players. I have both the Boavista game up and the PSV game up. So I apologize with the Miguel Luis comment there because obviously he didn't start that game against.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. One thing that we have to mention as well was Bruno Fernandes getting a red card this game, which is the reason why he didn't play against Famalicao. Let me just screen share right now. Boom. Don't judge me on watching the Joe Budden podcast. People listening at home, pretty good podcast. But here it is. Here's the red card from this tackle there. Pretty brash tackle. I'd give it a yellow as well. My biggest issue really is it'll show in a second.
Do they show the first yellow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll show it in a second. This is clear yellow. The second yellow comes should show right now. Right now, yeah. So Acuña's pushing the guy over. Foul on Acuña, I'd agree. But then, he goes over to talk to the linesman, and that gives him a yellow. Like, I don't know, guys. You tell me. Was he justified to get sent off this game? How do you feel?
So the first yellow was the linesman talk, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we don't know what he says, right? So that's kind of
the ref doesn't know either. To be fair, look how far away he is.
That's what I'm saying. So like we have to assume one of 2 things, right? That either he says some fucked up shit and that official there just said that's that. I mean, what can we do? We've seen that happen before. It could be a stretch. We could sit here and just assume that he says some bad stuff, and we have to take it for what it is, right? We don't know what he says. You says the ref don't even know what he says. So like, does anybody have any idea of what the hell he said?
All I know is that I've seen him get in a ref's face about 10 times worse than that.
Yeah. He's actually been a lot more aggressive this year than he even was last year.
That's like the least aggressive that I've seen him, Yeah. See, he like that.
He's more aggressive, yeah.
You're right. So maybe maybe it's a reach then. Maybe that official is trying to like show him up and kind of take a stand and limit that, because see his reaction to that foul, which is a dirty foul, which deserves a yellow.
Yeah.
That's the typical Bruno Fernandes that we usually see. Very animated, very, very clearly upset. That's, I don't know. The second one obviously deserves a yellow, but that first one, it's a reach maybe.
Yeah. And then another thing that came from this is him, I should have had the video up already, but was him destroying doors at the Vesa. Not destroying doors, but he was he kicked in a few doors. So Christian, is it a big deal that happened? I've seen a lot of like the trio attacks and all the other medias in Portugal really analyzing Bruno Fernandes' frustration. But I mean, the player's frustrated, right? Like, is that such a big deal that it has to be, or what do you think?
No, I don't even understand how that video came out because I've never even
Neither.
seen an inside the tunnel
That's the
video
key
like
right
that.
there.
It had to have been Boavista. Leaked it, I guess.
Why is shit like that always being leaked on Sporting though?
And maybe, I mean, Bruno Fernandes is a Boavista is a player originally. I mean, that's where
he came from their schools.
Yeah, that's his club that he grew up at. So maybe they were pissed about that. But I mean, you're telling me that Moregas never got sent off and like punched a wall before? Because I don't believe that for 1 second. Like, or
I don't-
insert other hothead maniac here. I'm like, it's definitely not the first time that's ever happened, but it's definitely the first time I've ever seen the internal video of it happening from like the stadium security camera.
Yeah.
I actually think that the best part about that, maybe we'll talk about that
You almost eat
later,
shit.
but it was
the
the ending where we see Varandas and Diana just chilling.
Yeah.
That's probably the best part
trying
about it.
to
I
remember
don't mind
what
it. I don't
it is.
care.
He almost
I don't
eats
care a
shit.
damn thing that he's
He
pissed
did.
off.
He almost fell right there.
That floor, like tile floor, is slippery if you have cleats.
Exactly, and he's wearing cleats too. Like, my favorite part is Paulinho, just in the middle, just watching all this shit. Look at this guy.
Like, honestly, yeah, man, I could give a damn about what he did or what he said there. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
that's reaching, bro. That's reaching. That's coming out here. You're telling me, like, over the years, we can count the amount of times that shit like this has come out on Porto and Benfica. There's a reason why it comes out on Sporting. It's easy. Sporting is an easy target. That's an easy subject. Now it's like, look at your golden boy. Look at his hot-headedness. Look at who he is. Like, let's start showing that side of him. Like, it's a bullshit. I don't give a shit. It's a non-story to me, man.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think anyone needed that video to know that Bruno Fernandes was already a hothead. Like, we've all seen video from in the games that we know that I'd say probably half his yellows are from yelling at the ref.
More than half. I mean, last year I'm pretty sure he when he missed that one game was because he was yelling at the ref, and he accumulated 10 yellows or whatever it was.
Yeah, like, I mean, probably six of them were yelling at the ref.
Yeah, exactly. Majority of his cards come from yelling. Now, again, going back to the red card, was it justified? No, but I mean, he has to also. People criticize Acuna for this all the time, and I think Bruno Fernandes also needs to hear this. Is like he also needs to calm down, I guess. Like, he has a target on his back. The referees won't. I guess they won't forgive him for it. The same way they won't forgive the Acuna for yelling or for being a hot-headed, So I mean, to be a captain, you gotta fucking know when to choose your battles, And I think the foul that was given to Acuna wasn't one of the ones that he should have been yelling at a linesman for. But at the same time, like, I don't think that deserved the yellow anyways.
It's also worth noting that Bruno Fernandes got fouled 11 times, and only one of the players I think only one got a yellow, the one that obviously stopped the counterattack. So the guy's getting hacked the whole game. He's trying to go for the win. He kind of comes in late. The guy exaggerates it, obviously, and I mean, he's instantly given a card, and he already has a yellow for kind of a bullshit reason. So it's just not even-handed officiating in terms of like the criteria. It's inconsistent.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, and this whole drama thing, all that needed to be done was fine the player, or make him pay for the fucking doors if he broke anything or whatever, and that's it.
I doubt he even broke the door.
I doubt it too. I mean, he's fucking falling anyway, so. But anyways, unless anybody else has more to say about that game, I guess we'll move on to the Europa League game against PSV Eindhoven, where Sporting lost 3-2. A tight game, I guess you can say. I think a better disputed game out of the three. But let me go through the lineups. We have Renan Ribeiro in net, Val Rosier, Quach, Neto, and Acuna in defense. We played a 4-4-2 this game, a 4-4-2 narrow with Wendell, Doumbia, Miguel Luis, and Bruno Fernandes in midfield, and Vieto and Blassi up top. Christian, what were your thoughts on this game? And the first of the two own goals from Sebastian Quach this week. What were your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, we came out pretty hot. I mean, I thought that, we came to play in the first 20 minutes and we dominated them, clearly looked like the better side. And then kind of against the run of play, PSV really got forward for the first time and scored on a nice shot. So it was kind of deflating in that sense that, that they were able to score on, one shot when we had dominated the play, and then if I'm not mistaken, the second goal came shortly after that. So we were down 2-0 at half, correct? Or we down 2-1 because in the PK right before.
2-1, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, they pretty much had it was 3 shots, 2 goals. And it seemed like an unjust result. And then obvious PK on Balassi right before half. The guy doesn't get near the ball, takes him out. It's just a no-brainer. And so, to get the PK back and, to be back in the game before half, I felt like we could at least, maybe scrape a point out of this game. There really wasn't a whole lot of defense being played by either teams. It was really free-flowing and attacking going both ways. PSV, they had that 18-year-old winger, Iataren, right? I believe his name is Iataren.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed with him. He's good. Bruma's
even
good.
the striker,
Daniel Mallon
or whatever
good.
his name is.
Yeah, he plays for the Dutch national team now. Yeah, I mean they have
I actually never heard of him until.
It's a very good, attacking trio there. So yeah, I mean they caused problems for us, the whole game, and this game could have ended 6-5 in either direction. It was that type of game. So obviously it was disappointing to not get a result out of it or any points, because I mean this is one of the better teams in the group, you have to imagine. And going on the road to theoretically the best team in the group or the second best team in the group is in getting a point. It's not the worst result ever, but playing a decent game, creating plenty of chances, more chances than we've created in, I would say, any game this season easily, and not getting anything from it is unfortunate. At times Bruno Fernandes was trying to do too much, and it was kind of pissing me off. But he did play a good game overall. Miguel Luis, I think that it was very apparent yesterday, but the left side of a diamond narrow midfield is not his position. He doesn't really know what to do. He doesn't really does not quite have the quality. He doesn't know what to do in that spot, and he was very poor in this game. And then he was super poor yesterday. Probably one of the worst players out there. And he did miss a sitter from 3 yards out on an open goal. So that would have, I believe, tied the game at that point. So
I was even thinking even earlier. You're talking about PSV?
Yeah, I'm talking about PSV. He
tried to chip the goal yesterday or something.
Yeah, that finish was very poor as well, and
horrible,
truly not that hard of a finish. But the one against PSV was even worse because there's literally no one in the goal. But yeah, I mean, no one played that great. Balassi was pretty poor. Vieto was horrible. Miguel Luis was bad. Doumbia is lost. Wendell's in relatively poor form. I mean, Neto is probably one of the better players out there. But yeah, other than that, Rozier was exposed defensively all game, getting put in the blender. So I mean, like I said, it could have been 5-4, 4-3, either direction. Yeah, it sucked to not get any points out of that game, and it just added on to the dissatisfaction within our ranks. Not getting a result. And then the classic, we lost with dignity type of shit. And it's like, oh, man, we've been here before so many times.
Yeah, exactly. Nando, what are your thoughts on the PSV game?
Again, I think Christian nailed a lot of that. I think a lot of players look like shit. I'm starting getting really annoyed at Wendell, to be quite honest with you guys. We could talk about that a little bit, but I think he's starting to turn. I wouldn't say bust, but I don't know. Something about him is just really annoying me. He seems like he's going all out, getting real tired early in the game, and then that's it. He just busts for the rest of the game. One thing, well, two things. Two things I want to take away from the game, man, because I think Christian just analyzed it really well. That consolation bullshit, like Lionel Ponce, like we lost with dignity shit's, I fucking hate that. Okay. That is like the most Sporting thing out of all the things that we talk about. That's got to be top 3 most Sporting thing. That is why we're here. It's that constant, acceptance that, hey man, look, we were expected to lose, but we didn't lose poorly. We lost with our head high. No, fuck off, you lost. And that's that. So enough of that bull. And 2, it just the thing I think we're all gonna agree on, Pedro Mins, right? So comes in, scores a goal, has the perfect debut, and we're all left scratching our heads wondering, like, why is this guy not part of the the primary squad for the Liga? At least he's out through Christmas. But he showed promise. He showed exactly what kind of striker we need. That doesn't mean he's going to go out to be a top guy in this league or anywhere else, but he showed the promise that we've expected from him. He showed the things that we were hoping to see, and we were hoping Sporting would gain with his coming into the game. So my positive is him. A little bit of Luis Neto. But other than that, no, it was a waste. It was just another bad performance. And I don't care if we lost 3-2. I guess I'd rather have lost 3-0 for all I care, because maybe that would have put, Varandas more on the hot seat. So fuck it.
Yeah. The only thing with this game, like Christian said, we started off well, and then once they scored that goal, it was game done right there. I feel like we lost our heads a bit. This team no longer looks like a team that once they suffer the goal, that's it. Their heads are gone. We seen that, the same thing we seen in Boavista when it was 1-0 for Boavista. Even early on, I didn't really have much faith in Sporting coming back. Really, like you mentioned, and it's one of the most frustrating things is the Pedro Mendes situation, because as we see now, he scored a fucking banger, Eder-esque, if I might say it so myself. He reminded me of that Eder goal back in the Euros. But for whatever odd reason, and I see the administration already trying to blame it on Kaiser, he's not registered in the league, which is just beyond me. It's another one of these. Last year, I was constantly harping up about Demiral, where anybody that's been watching Sporting in the last, let's say last 2 years now or last 3 years would know about Demiral from the B team. Yet they never gave him a chance, and we sold him for peanuts to the Turkish team. And Pedro Mendes can very well be next. I mean, we already done the same with Gelson Dalla. Pedro Mendes can, like I was saying, very well be next, where I don't understand how he didn't get a preseason at all. I mean, I guess in that case you can blame it on Kaiser, but seeing as Kaiser was sacked the day after deadline day, I don't think Sporting's administration made that decision the day of. I'm pretty sure they went on to transfer deadline already knowing Kaiser's out. So, with that being said, why didn't you put this kid in? Especially knowing Luis Felipe was injured, and especially knowing that you only had really one striker, because all the 3 players you signed, whether you want to admit it or not, are their best seasons came from the wings. For most of their careers, they played on the wings. Bolasie, I think, has played a few times as a striker back in England. I don't really remember him playing as a striker like Crystal Palace, I'll tell you that. Maybe I missed a few games of him playing as a striker at Everton or Aston Villa or whatever, but he's a winger. So again, just going back to that point, I don't understand how no one at this administration is thinking like, oh, let's put in Pedro Mendes, even if he doesn't play, as a fucking safety net, because he's not a kid from the academy, so it's not like we have to register him. You know what I mean? Like, we joke around with them with saying Varandas is playing Football Manager, but even in those cases, he's fucking up on that. Because in those cases, you would when I'm playing Football Manager, I know what academy players I do and don't have to fucking register that can still play. You know what I mean? So Varenda's just showing that he's just as shit at football manager as he is as president of Sporting. Anyways, going to there's not really a lot of talking points in this game. Like you said, the penalty is a clear penalty. We lost our heads on this corner. On the corner leading to the PSV goal. Pedro Minge sort of had a solo by himself, but aside from that, we had 3 substitutions. Two of them coming in the last 10 minutes of the game, which is something that frustrated the hell out of me. I don't know, guys. Take it away. I don't know really what else to say about PSV. The Coates own goal was reminiscent of the own goal he scored yesterday, I should say, against Famalicao. So what are you searching up here, Christian? Oh, how many times he's played as a striker?
I think he has a muted accidentally.
Oh.
So yeah, the last time he really played even slightly consistently as a striker was this season, 2016-17. And then he tore his ACL, and that was it.
And even then, he had more games on the wing than he did as a striker.
Yeah, he had
one assist as a center forward. He had a goal and an assist on the wing. So
yeah, and everything else is all wing, and then for us, he's playing center forward.
Yeah.
Couple games sprinkled in here or there. These are also it's been a while. That's the point. The guy's not a natural striker.
Yeah.
And this was when all the videos that we see of him doing reverse snakes and shit. That was the Balassi of 2016-17. That's not the Balassi anymore who can barely dribble.
Exactly. And even when he does dribble, he looks funny doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's so effective. I guess it's that big body of his or something, but
yeah, he's
just a goofy dude, man.
Yeah. Listen, I like his attitude, don't get me wrong, and I'm really pulling out of all the signings we've had, I'm really pulling for Balassi to be a fan favorite. But it's just it doesn't look good, man. It doesn't look good at all. I thought Jovan Cabral had a decent appearance.
Yeah, he did. He hadn't played in a long time, and he actually looked pretty dangerous. So yeah, he was a positive. And then he played all right yesterday when he came in. At least he's getting chances. I guess we don't have that to complain about. But that PSV game. That was his first game in since the end of last season. Or I guess technically since a couple preseason cameos, but he hasn't played any meaningful games this season so far. So it's been a while. So I'm glad that he's fit. He plays, and it's kind of rare that it works out like that. Young player gets hurt, and it's usually I would have expected we would have waited till December to see him again. So pleasantly surprised by him, getting right back in the squad once he's fit again. But yeah, nothing you can do about that. And then he also played when he came in yesterday, he was playing up top with Balassi as a second striker. He took out Vieto for no reason, by the way. So when he came in yesterday, it was Jovan is not a striker.
No. He's very much a winger.
So you have two wingers playing up top in a 4-4-2 with no outside mids, a super compact diamond. So there's really no wingers. So just not playing to his strengths is basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah, exactly. That's really all I have to say about PSV. Do you guys have anything else you want to add, or?
I have a prediction. I don't think we're gonna get out of the group.
Wow, that's bold. I think we will, but I really only think it's because we're about to sign a new manager by the name of Jose Mourinho. It's a joke. Listen, I wouldn't. It wouldn't shock me at this point.
It's what are we?
Dude, that would be the most maybe the most Sporting thing to freaking do. Like, if we sign Mourinho and then it's like you leave your head scratching, like, so where did the money come from? So where is these concerns? So
Yeah,
why
no.
didn't we do this earlier?
No, we won't sign Mourinho.
Of
He
course
won't
we
take
won't.
this job either.
No.
He's been picky, waiting for the right one. I think he's gonna get
Exactly.
the Real Madrid one very soon. So
Or even back to United.
yeah, and he makes like 17 mil a year. So
Back to Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't even surprise me either. But no.
He just recycles clubs now.
I think Sporting's about to get Frankie Verkouten back. This is about to be a 2013
That'd
all
be
over
exciting
again.
if we could bring Gulinho Lopes or Ben Gurt back as like some assistants and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I low-key think Guding Lopes is back in the club. You know, they just don't want to admit to it. But hey, I mean, his old team is back. Why wouldn't he be back, right? Yeah, man. Anyways, we'll move on to the game last night, the Famalicao game then. Let me quickly look up the lineup. So it was another 4-4-2. We had Renan Ribeiro in net, Val Rosier, Coach, Mathieu, and Acuna defense. A weird midfield of Doumbia, Battaglia, Miguel Luis, and Wendell, as Bruno Fernandes looked on the sidelines as he was suspended. And then we had Blasi and Vieto up top with substitutions of only two substitutions for whatever reason. We had Jovan Cabral coming in for Vieto, and we had Jesse Rodriguez coming in for Battaglia. Nando, I'll start it off with you. What did you think of the game yesterday?
It's just the culmination of the shit show. The official circus is back. Like you talked about that weird ass midfield, right? But the idea who hasn't played in forever. He's got to get some time, get some play time at some point. You would think that he would slowly be brought in with, some subs or late subs. But nope, he went ahead and started him right off the bat. I'm over Doumbia, Miguel Luis. Like, there's nothing really, truly offensive about that midfield other than maybe Wendell, right? Everybody else is very possession-oriented, defensive-minded. I mean, Battaglia and Doumbia are pretty much the same position. Miguel Luis, I'm not quite sure yet of what spot he fits in on that midfield. He's like a weird mix between, like, should he be in those, that 6 spot or maybe a Wendell spot, if you will, but I'm not sold on him. So the midfield right off the bat, I'm not feeling it. The defense I'm fine with. I mean, it is what it is. Then, as we're all going to talk about, then the biggest shock of the night is the substitution of Vieto.
Yeah.
Like, if that, so the coach says that the fans influenced how negatively the team played thereafter. That's what coach says, right? So coach says that. Well, no shit, right? He gets subbed while he's clearly the best man on the field. Forget the goal he scored, which is a golazo. He had great one-on-one runs. He had great, moments during the game where he was active throughout the game, trying. And then you sub him out, 60th minute. At a time where the game is what, 1-1? Yep. 1-1. That's what you're showing right now. So you bring in Giovanni Cabral, who's not gotten a lot of minutes. I mean, the PSV game, he had minutes. But you can't do that. You just simply can't do that. And that completely just is the icing on top of the cake. I mean, I don't think Sporting really created many opportunities after that, if really any clear opportunities after that. We lost at home, guys, to Famalicao. I don't give
2 games in a row. We used to not really lose games at home. We lost
Exactly.
Even
last season, we didn't.
I don't give a damn if Famalicao's in first place. I'm sorry, bro. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, they're not a good enough team. I
Guys,
mean, listen.
no disrespect to Famalicao, but like,
yeah.
At what point? What? And then the second half, they dominated. I mean, I watched a tad bit, and didn't they dominate the whole second half essentially?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even clear. Like, I think we all, from what I read on Twitter, from what I heard on the radio, like, they went after it the second half.
Yeah.
They had much better. I mean,
The Kawhi's own goal
is
another unfortunate situation. It's like the perfect culmination of just how Sporting season been, right? About how his season has been. So I could care less. He obviously I wish he didn't do that. He did it. It happened. Whatever. But Sporting was already playing like crap throughout that whole second half. They wanted that 2-1 more than Sporting did. And sure enough, they went into the Alvalade and took it. Embarrassing result. Horrific result. Nothing else to say. That's pathetic.
Yeah, agreed. Christian, how about you?
I mean, yeah, I mean, we didn't really. This is, I mean,
Yeah, this is what I was talking about.
you got to
earlier.
hit the
I
target.
confused I confused the game. But yeah, this even his like control of it was a little weird. I mean, I skipped too forward. Like even here, like you could have passed the ball there. There's so many things you could have done. Anyways,
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, to me, the whole Miguel Luis thing is I think Ponce knows him from playing in the U23s, but it's like of all of the like kind of unproven, under 23s to get the chance, like the one who finally gets the chance is Miguel Luis.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that he's a bad player, but it's like for me, it's like I don't think he's better than Daniel Bragança. Like
Nope.
of all the ones to get a chance, it's him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just not a huge fan of his, especially when he's playing like wide left in a diamond midfield. Like I just don't think that that's a position that he's going to take advantage of. As well as Doumbia playing like out on the right in that diamond. It's like
Doumbia was attacking a lot yesterday, which was super weird to me.
It was a terrible midfield. Like and Battaglia, he started out okay, but as the game went on, he started to lose it. He started to, be slow, take extra touches, get himself into trouble dribbling, and he really needed a sub. Like I don't know if the plan was for him to go the full 90 minutes, but like he looked like a guy that hadn't played in 11 months. And by the end of it, it was like, oh God, like we got to get this guy out of here. And I mean, Doumbia, Miguel Luis, and Battaglia is just not, a midfield of a team that is going to generate much offense. Yeah, just disappointing. Like, and I mean, I'm glad that Miguel Luis got his chance, but I mean, he can't play. He can't keep playing going forward. I mean, he's not good enough to start. I mean, maybe he will play on Thursday because it's a League Cup game, but I mean, I just haven't seen enough. I thought he's been poor in both of his games so far.
Yeah, you brought up Daniel Bragança. I'll even bring up a guy that's still on the team or who's in the under 23s, Tomas Silva, who I think even deserves a more of a chance than he does.
And more attacking dynamic, the player.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Let me just rewind it here because that
defense was just left watching.
Oh yeah.
Nobody knew what to do.
Mathieu was really bad yesterday.
Exactly. I was going to say, for as much slack as Quach is getting and deserved, Mathieu yesterday was just as bad, if not worse. This part here, you see how Quach kind of fumbled this? I bet if it was Sporting's, then he would have fucking scored that shit. But anyways, yeah, I agree with everything that was said. I had a point somewhere here. This defense was just horrible for this goal here. Yeah, so Wendell loses the ball earlier, which I mean I get it. Oh, it doesn't show. I get it, but I mean he passed it on the opponent's half. But then here it's just ball watching. Battaglia, ball watching. Quach, ball watching. Mathieu, ball watching. Acuna, ball watching. Like half-assed tackles putting in.
Like everybody's scared to get the leg in.
Yeah, man. Like, listen, Jorge Jesus was never a great defensive coach, especially tactically, but
you gotta tackle the guy right there outside the box.
I don't understand how we're even worse than the Jorge Jesus era or fuck, man. Like
you can't let him dribble like that inside the box.
And then that's when they really took over. Like Famalicao.
See, right there, he got lucky, man. That was another run from just the other side, and Mateo's staring.
Yeah, and there's another thing too with Renan. He does not know how to fucking grab a ball. There was a chance earlier in the first half where it was a shot straight at him. He parries it away right to the feet of a Famalicao player.
Yeah, that was bad.
Like horrible. This defense needs to sort itself out. I'm not sure if Acuna is the right guy to play left back. As much as I like him at left back, maybe play Borja and play Acuna on the wing.
He hasn't played that well this season, though.
He hasn't, but at least with Acuna on the wing, he can come back and help. You know what I mean?
He's a lot more better offensively than a Doumbia or a Miguel Luis.
For sure. For sure. And then in terms of Battaglia, which again he's getting fucking caught out. I don't understand how Lionel Ponce looks at this game, tries to or understands this game, or looks at it in any way and thinks Vieto should be my first substitution and not Battaglia, or not even Miguel Luis, who was on a yellow at the time. Like it's baffling. And then we had no spark going forward. No wonder we were just conceding so many chances. Like, look at this team. They look defeated. Look at them. They just stand around looking at each other. It's so fucking bad. So fucking bad. Like, I don't understand how much of a difference does Bruno Fernandes make in terms of leadership. And then this is just, it's identical to the PSV goal. Identical. It's bad. I mean, Coates in his Sporting career has 5 own goals now. He scored more. It is a great finish. That's outside the boot and everything. Jeez. He has Coates has 5 own goals against Sporting. Jonas only scored 1 goal against Sporting, so Jonas é uma merda. I also read a tweet today. I think it was Sam that said it. I can't remember now. That said for our next game, we should have Coates play up top and just tell him to defend, and he'll score us a bunch of goals.
He had a chance at the end of the game to
redeem.
You know how he had a bike, or he like always does like the bike and it never works.
Yeah.
And then he did one earlier in the game, and then that was a chance for him to do the bike again. And he tried to like weirdly just kick it without doing the bike, and it was just a very tame shot because he was probably deflated from scoring an own goal just minutes before. But it was like, damn, like that was your chance to do the fucking shitty bike that you always try to do, and it didn't even pan out because you're just deflated from before. So finally your chance to do the bike, and just he doesn't even do it, and it's like the tamest shot ever.
Yeah. Sticking with Coates, what do you think is the right thing to do next game? Should we bench him against Rio Ave? Should we continue with him so he doesn't really drop his head or anything?
You gotta keep with him, man.
What was that?
I think you gotta keep with him. I mean, look, who else are we gonna really bring in? Luis Neto.
Eduardo Quaresma, who's actually played pretty well, but
nah, man, I think you gotta keep him in, especially after you just gave him the captain's armband.
But the thing is, it's a League Cup game, so I don't know what kind of squad rotation they were playing.
Oh, right.
I don't think it's going to be much.
After this, it is a League Cup.
But after these losses, I think they're going to play the strongest team so they can get a W. I don't think they're. I mean, also maybe another way they're looking at it is the league is already gone in September, so let's try to win the cups again.
Fuck.
Yeah, I agree, but
damn, that's such a.
That's what I think at least. But anyways. So you're saying we should play him. Christian, what about you?
I mean, I don't really either way. I mean, I'm okay with rotating the squad completely so we can hopefully Pedro Mendes can play in this game. Tomas Silva, Eduardo Quaresma, all the standouts from the under 23s.
Just have the sub-23.
But at the same time, they just played today, so it's not much rest. But I mean, the A team played Monday, so they only have one more day of rest.
Exactly.
It is our only home game for the Taça de Liga, so I mean, if getting out of the group is like,
who do we play?
Rio Ave.
We're probably gonna have like 10 people at the stadium.
Yeah.
Yesterday's attendance wasn't great either. It was 28,000.
Did they finally announce it? 28? That's shocking.
Yeah, it was 28,500.
I feel like it was less than that.
Yeah,
I think it was too. It looked a lot
28.
less. It looked a lot less.
What they're doing is they're including, a lot of times Sporting does this, but they include the game box purchase.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, as working for a professional sports team, I can tell you that almost every team does that with the attendance. And
to inflate this, yeah.
People buy tickets and then don't go to the game or whatever, or people buy tickets and try to sell them like on StubHub or whatever. So that there's the scan rate, which is the amount of people that scan into the game, and then there's the purchase number. The purchase is just the amount of purchased tickets. So you might sell 25,000 tickets in a 30,000 seat stadium, but you might only have a scan of 18,000. You just announce the 25,
Right.
So So I bet that 28 is the bot number, not the scan rate. But I mean, it's gonna be like 12,000 on Thursday. Who the fuck would pay overpriced to see a Tasseliga game of these bums right now? You know.
Exactly. And also just sticking one more with Quats. So news came out. I don't know if it's a rumor, if it was true or not, but news did come out that we did try to renew Quats' contract, but by adding an extra year, but by reducing his salary. But he didn't agree to that. One, do you any resentment towards the player? I know there was some going on Twitter, and then especially with his recent form, it's been a lot louder. But do you blame the player? And overall, what are your views on Coates right now? Christian, I'll start that off with you.
Yeah, I don't really know what the point of renewing. I mean, he's already signed through 2022, I think.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is probably his last season. I mean, what's the point of renewing him and saving like whatever?
I think if we add
a little amount of money,
adding an extra year on the contract, so we can maybe sell him for more. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make that much sense to me.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, why would he accept a contract renewal to make less? I mean, what incentive is there for him to sign that?
I mean, funny enough, Mathieu did that last season. I mean, Mathieu is also getting up in there in age, so it is a different situation. But Mathieu did that last season, and looking at his recent performances, you're right in terms of incentive. Like he's not been playing well, and maybe it's he's not motivated to. But anyways. But yeah, Nando, what about you? What are your overall thoughts on Coates right now?
I just think he's mentally not in it, man.
Yeah, fair.
He looks distraught. He looks lost. He's just, but it's hard to put like just the blame on him because not everybody else is playing that well. Like we were just talking about how Matheus doesn't look like he's playing well this year. You know what I'm saying? It's at least for me, he hasn't played nearly as well as he's played last year. But losing breeds that sports depression. It breeds anxiety. It breeds all that kind of shit. And the more you lose, the worse you play. And it takes a tough-minded individual to continue to perform well. And he's just not right now. And if he continues to perform poorly, then he's going to find himself on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And fans are going to stop. You know, you look at Twitter. We're constantly divided whether or not like we still should support him, love him because of his raza and this, that, and the other, or whether or not we should be tough on him because of how he's played. So fans are already starting to like twist and turn.
Yeah, in my opinion, he needs to take accountability on the bad performances by sitting on the bench, even if it's just for a game or two. But I think against Rio Ave he shouldn't play.
I think the hot take might be that Matthews actually played worse, but Coates just scored 2 own goals.
I would agree at that. To be honest with you, I would definitely agree with that.
He's flown under the radar as horrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say for Rio Ave, I wouldn't mind a Luis Neto. My only worry is because we don't have truly a fourth center back. If we do rotate the squad, it would be a Luis Neto and Ilori, which I mean, if fans
that is
are
the fourth center back, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if fans are complaining about Coates, like, wait until Ilori takes his spot. Let's see who's crying then, you know? But, yeah, I mean, I would play maybe Mathieu and Neto next game, just because, like, just to save Coates a bit. I would love, though, for Coates to play and have a fucking stellar game against Rio Ave just to sort of cut his form off, but I mean, something needs to be done. That's 3 penalties or 2 penalties given away against Rio Ave. It wasn't an own goal against Boavista, but it was an own goal against PSV, an own goal against Famalicao. What was his other own goal?
It was just a hat trick of PKs.
Was it? It wasn't an own goal that game either?
No, it was all PKs.
Okay, then never mind. But yeah, it's still it's poor form from what's supposed to be our most reliable or one of our more reliable center backs. So, I mean, we'll see if Lionel Ponce has the balls about him. I mean, he had the balls to sub off our best player last game. in the 60th minute, mind you, as well. I think that's what really frustrated me about that substitution more than anything. I wouldn't say, actually, I won't say more than anything, because it pissed me off in general, because he was our best player. He was the only player really creating much, especially in the first half. He was the only player that really had a lot of opportunities. Most of the attacking came through him. And then not only did that sort of make us play like a small team in terms of us taking an attacker to put in another attacker, and not taking out one of the 4 midfielders we had to put in an attacker, but we took out our best player. He can blame the fans all he wants. At the end of the day, I think that decision is what lost us the game more than anything. I think we could have maybe walked out of here with a draw. I think we could have even – we played bad, but I think we could have even gotten away with a win, because we did have, especially more in the first half, in the beginning of the second half, we had a few chances, even though they're half chances. We had a few chances. We had, somewhat of a glimmer of hope, especially holding on to a 1-0 lead. But – why he takes out Vieto for Jovan and doesn't take out a Bataglia or a Miguel Luis to switch up to a 4-3-3 is beyond me. Why we're even playing in a 4-4-2 narrow when we signed 3 wingers this transfer window, including Camacho, Jovan, Plata. That's 6 that I'm counting right now, and I'm probably forgetting some more. Anyways, we have 6 wingers, and we're playing a 4-4-2 narrow with no wingers. It's ridiculous. It's just fucking ridiculous. And yeah, that's really all I have on this game. Doumbia was a weird position too. Like he was an attacking midfielder. It was super weird. But anyways, unless anybody else has anything to say, I know Leon had you shaking there, Christian. I don't know.
He's one of my. I've always liked the guy. He's got a face tat.
Yeah.
He had 2 really great chances to score on us. He kind of gifted the turnover to Vieto, which led to the banger. Which, I mean, you could say it's his fault, but at the same time, Vieto did score a banger. There's still a lot of work to do after getting. Exactly. But I mean, yeah, Leon almost made up for that with 2 a strike across goal, and then that header could have easily scored, because it was right around like the 60th minute where Vieto went off, and then it was just onslaught from Famalicao. They had so many chances, and yeah, Leon had 2 of those. So I mean, should probably sign that guy. We don't really have much depth at right back. In fact, we have none.
No.
So yeah, sign him.
Yeah. Fair enough. And Nando, any last words on the Famalicao before we go on to a rumor I wanted to discuss a bit about? Nando?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Now I can.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah. We're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I was just saying, man, it's just embarrassing. We've all talked about it. It's like we just suck. Simple as that.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyways, a rumor that came out today. I just heard it on RTP. I wanted your guys' thoughts on it. So it looks more than likely Lionel Ponte is already going to get the boot. Whether that means he goes back to the under 23s, I'm not sure. Personally, I hope so, but we'll see. Or I actually don't even care, because they even won today without him, so who cares about that anyways. But we are linked, or at least they're saying Sporting's interested with current PAOK manager Abel Ferreira. He's only played 8 games at PAOK. They're the current Greek champions as well. He has 4 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses, which isn't great form from him. Nando, I'll give this one to you first. What are your thoughts on Abel Ferreira, and do you want to see him in coaching Sporting?
No, man. It's more of essentially the same. It's another safe bet to kind of appease the sócios that voted Bruno Carvalho out. It's that kind of, o homem da casa, another guy like he's been there, done that, should know this. Nah, man, I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with, to be honest with you, I'm not okay with any safe bet at this point that Sporting chooses for a coach. Kaja was a safe bet. Lionel Ponce is a safe bet. I mean, we can go back then. Who else did we have? Thiago Fernandes. We had, who was that other guy? Bzeiro.
Yeah.
I don't like any of them. I don't like, and Abel, less, especially after shit he said and the way he just approached, his time in Braga and Sporting and everything. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want him there. I want him far away from Sporting. I would rather take a Pedro Mendes, a guy that coach Guimarães. They're talking about Caixinha and stuff as well. I don't want him there, but I'd rather take a Pedro Mendes or somebody like that. Than somebody that was at Sporting and knows Sporting and no, I'm sorry, man. I just
Yeah,
can't be okay
especially
with
the shit talking that Abel Ferreira's done over the
it.
last
Yeah,
2 years.
bro, he
Fuck
went
that guy.
off.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck it. I'd rather than go get Leonardo Jardim.
Honestly, to me, it isn't even just about the shit talking. It's he talked bad about the club, and he's not even that special. You know what I
No,
mean?
no.
Like I can I can take a fucking I don't know. I can't really think of an example of a coach that talks shit about. If even Vieira talked shit about Sporting, I would still probably take him at this point. You know what I mean? That's another guy I don't know why we're not looking into. He's having a pretty good start with Guimarães. We were also linked to Silas. I think I've already harped on enough on here about how much I want Silas at Sporting. But Christian, I'll throw it off to you. What do you want? Who do you want to see, or what type of coach do you want to see at Sporting, seeing as Lionel Ponce is pretty much done?
Yeah, so the thing that's interesting to me is that when Payok signed Abel this offseason from Braga, they paid a 2 million buyout to Braga to get him. So I mean, he's clearly still under contract right now, and they paid 2 million to get him. Like, they're not just gonna let him walk away for free. He's only 8 games in.
Right.
So what are we gonna go over there and pay 3 mil for this fucking bum and then fire him by Christmas? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I think that we need to get a manager that's currently not at a club, so we don't have to pay a buyout. Not that there's no it's gonna cost at least 2 million to get him, and that's just not really worth it. I don't think. I've never really been impressed with the guy, and I mean, I guess maybe he's kind of like a steady the ship kind of guy, but I don't really think we need a steady the ship kind of guy. I think we need more of a risk, less of a risk averse hire, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen? We're going to suck. Like, we already suck. So there's really there's no benefit to being risk averse in this situation. And I mean, I saw Silas on Sport TV Plus doing commentary. I mean, he's right there. He's just sitting there. He's fucking around on Sport TV. Just you can grab him. I imagine that Ivo Vieira would have a high buyout too. There's no way Guimarães is going to let him walk either. So it'd be a similar situation. But if you are going to pay a couple mil to get a guy, I would rather have him than
Abel.
Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, I bet we've all been saying Silas since mid of last season. So
I've been saying Silas before Kaiser came in, dude.
Yeah,
I was saying Silas when we got rid of fucking Miolovic, who it's turned out was a fucking incredible decision because the guy isn't even on the field. I mean, he's obviously battling leukemia, I believe it is, but he wasn't even on the field to sort of give his team a talk around to make Bologna win the game. I can't remember against who it was, but I remember they were losing 1-0, and they turned the game around after a phone call from halftime. The guy has been incredible, yet we sacked him, right? Typical Sporting. All right, yeah. Let me go through the modalidades before ending it off with Twitter questions. So we started off with we can start off with handball. The Juvenis won the Campeonato Nacional. They beat Benfica 21-20. The Equipa B also on handball, beat Zona Sul 27-21. And, of course, the senior team, coached by my current favorite coach, Thierry Anti, beat Avanca 38-19. And in the Liga de Campeões, we beat Tatran Prezov 32-24. Let's teach moves a lot. In basketball, we had our first preseason game. I believe it was our first preseason game. We beat Galitos FC 89-68. We also beat Immortal in the final of a preseason cup. We beat them 89-67.
I believe the first basketball game is Sunday.
Yeah, which I'm pretty excited to see, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm glad that not glad, but seeing as Sporting in terms of soccer has been shit. At least I'll support their fucking their basketball team. Anyways, in the Sub-23, last week they beat Leixões 2-1. Today they beat Rio Ave 1-0. So the under-23 boys killing it so far. I believe they haven't lost a game. I could be wrong, but I believe they haven't lost a game yet.
Under 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't lost yet.
Yeah.
I think 8 for 8.
Exactly. Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. The female team had a huge win this weekend. They beat A de Francos, GDCA dos Francos, 17-0. They, funny enough, were only winning 3-0 at the end of the first half, and then completely destroyed them in the second half. So congratulations to the ladies. Sad to see it's not on ESPN, unlike a certain second division team was last year. But anyways, the Futebol de Praia, Sporting beat Belenenses in the quarterfinals 9-2. We then beat Amigos de Paz 5-2. Sorry, did I say 9-2 or 5-2 on the first one? They beat Belenenses 9-2. They beat Amigos de Paz 5-2, and in the final, they lost to Braga 8-4 in beach soccer. In futsal, the senior team beat Asmej 5-1. The female team lost to Benfica 3-2, but beat Leões Pesalvo 5-1. That's Juvenige. Let's see. In hockey, for in the Elite Cup, Sporting beat Barcelos 7-2. In the quarterfinals, in the semifinals, we beat Viana 3-0, and in the finals, we lost to Porto. We tied 2-2, but we lost to Porto 4-3 in penalties, in the penalty shootouts. The female team for hockey lost 2-1 to Benfica, but in a jogo de preparação, they beat São Joanenses 8-0. Let's see if there's anything else. Paintball, rugby. In rugby, the senior team in a preseason game lost 21-10 to Universitario Sevilla. And I believe that and volleyball. The female team in the semifinals of the Torneio Cidade de Famalicao beat Braga 3-0. And in the finals they beat Atlético 3-2. But that's obviously, I believe that's a preseason cup if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong anyways. But yeah, so we'll move on to the Twitter questions.
Also there was that. Did you see the hockey, that little tournament as well, where we lost to Porto?
I think I mentioned that. Okay. PK, yeah, 2-2, and then it was 4-3 on pens. Yeah. But anyways, moving on to the Twitter questions now. So we have two sets of different questions. But anyways, starting off with Chris_Ronaldo28, that's CR28. He asks, how can Varandas turn things around? Put yourself in his shoes, pretend that you're them. Notice that you made many mistakes from lack of experience. Resign is not an option, so let me know. Nando, I'll give that one to you, dude. All right. Or I can give it to both of you, really.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and y'all can hear me well, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so if we're going to assume that he's not going to quit or he's not going to, resign and do all that bullshit. So he has, and I think, I'm trying to pull it up on my Twitter right now. somebody tweeted earlier that kind of made sense. He has to do one of two things, in my opinion, if not both. I think you have to show that the guys that are currently controlling Sporting have to go. In other words, the Vianas, the Manuel Fernandes that are inside there, even Beto. I mean, I'm not. I liked Beto as a player, but I think you got to clean house. You got to show that what once was there didn't work in Manuel Fernandes. A new trial experience like Viana didn't work. I think he has to show that he's um, willing and ready to go ahead and knock out the players and the people that they're just not serving a purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think he has to do that, and then I think he has to go all in, truthfully, on a coach that goes against what's happened with the Souza Sintra administration, and that he's carried all the way to Sporting thus far. Like those coaches have been safe, normal, run of the mill bets, and that's not what's going to get Sporting there. And I don't care if Sporting's already the points that they are behind. He has to be aggressive. He has to show that he's trying. And if he doesn't show those things, then quite honestly, I don't know if he makes it at the end of this year. I think Sporting will have one or two more Assembleias Gerais to get him out of there.
Agreed. And Christian, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what he's supposed to do at this point. I mean, he's in at this point over his head completely. The walls are kind of closing in. These opportunist people that are always lingering around, ready to pop up out of the shadows, are gonna start talking more and being more vocal.
I mean, they've already started popping up, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked I haven't seen more of them after yesterday. But yeah, I mean, because they were popping up after Rio Ave. So I'm shocked that I haven't seen more from like what the fuck's his name, the banker, Riccardi.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys like that are gonna start, popping up. I mean, attendances are bad. People are, chanting him out. I mean, he really has no popular support, and I think his main base of like older socios is starting to abandon him now. So he's really got no one left. So really the only thing that he can try to do is to be creative to kind of save himself, because if he just keeps playing it safe, he's not going to save himself, because not only does he need to, I mean, let's just say they steady the ship and perform reasonably, like it's not going to be good enough to actually do anything. They need to do something extraordinary to kind of not only make up for what they've, lost in points. Like they're already 7 points back and we're 6 games in. Like that's a tough mountain to climb, like period. So if you keep dropping points and all of a sudden it's like double digits after 8 games, it's like, damn, like it's probably over. So I mean, right now it's still technically not over because there's still so much season left. And it is only 7 points. Like when Benfica were champions that one season, they came back from 7 points, and that was in a much shorter span of time. We haven't played either of the direct rivals yet. I mean, if we played them today, we'd obviously get scraped by either one. But it's still technically points to be won. So, he needs to hire a new coach that's not like pretty much not Abel Ferreira. He needs to not hire like the in-house kind of safe bet, played for Sporting, whatever. I don't think he's going to hire another foreign coach because of the whole Kaiser thing. I think he's going to try to hire a Portuguese coach. But
even though maybe a foreign coach might work out better. But
yeah, I mean, it's just like he fucked himself with all the squad. The squad he constructed is not good enough to do anything. The squad he built, the transfers that he made, the molds of the players that he brought in, it's just not good enough, and it's not well constructed. So, I mean, he's running out of spots on his foot to shoot himself. So, I mean, he really, yeah. I mean, his only way to save himself is hang his hat on the toss of the Liga win. So. They better get a result on Thursday, otherwise that dream's gonna slowly start to fade too.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Anyways, next question comes in from Steph, who unfortunately couldn't join us this week. He asks, does Lionel Ponce have what it takes to be a Sporting coach? Or the blame is on the administration due to really poor preseason preparation? Um, I'll quickly take this one. I don't think it's preseason preparation. I think it's definitely on the administration. They should have realized that even though this guy was doing well in the under-23s, he did just come from a third division team in Spain. So I think he was a little bit over his head. I mean, yeah, it really just goes down to that. I don't know what the administration was thinking of giving this guy the opportunity. I mean, it's one thing to coach an under-23 league with some of the best players, some of the best young players in the country. Because they're really only divided between the three clubs, the better young players in Portugal. And it's another thing to take over a first division team, really only gelling together now, taking over from a hectic transfer window, especially a hectic transfer window deadline. It yet again comes down to the administration's poor preparation. Poor preparation in terms of personnel, poor preparation in terms of dealing with the Bruno Fernandes situation, because they basically panicked and decided it was best to sell Rafinha and Thierry, and bring in three guys that I guess were easier to bring in, like Bolasie, Hesse, and Fernando, who I doubt we'll ever see play. So yeah, I wouldn't blame too much on Lionel Ponce, because I mean, I think if any of us, whether we're unqualified or not, had the chance to take over Sporting, I think we would. And especially if you're a coach with any ambition, you would do it. But yeah, he's definitely in over his head with that, and really the only people to blame, in my opinion, are the administration. He also asks, do you guys think the double yellow to Bruno Fernandes was justified? We sort of discussed it, but I say no. Christian, what did you think?
No.
And Nando?
No.
Yeah, we're all in agreement, so I don't think it was justified. Anyways, next question comes in from David Claudio at David Strife 35. He asks, do you think Varandas has to resign? And if so, why? And what is your favorite coach in the modalidades? Christian, I'll give that one off to you, dude.
Who's my favorite coach of the modalidades? I like, obviously, just for his passion and, the success he's had over there, is Nuno Diaz. But the handball coach is slowly growing on me.
He is
Thierry
Anti.
Yeah. He's starting to grow on me. So, obviously, I mean, he hasn't been here long enough for me to rank him over Nuno Diaz. But he's on the right path.
Yeah, exactly. He's a funny guy. Yeah, and we also discussed the Varandas thing. Do you think he has to resign?
Yes.
He won't, though.
He won't.
No.
He definitely won't.
No, he won't, bro. And you know what? I don't give a damn if he does anymore, honestly. I'm hoping he sits there and he fucking finds himself, like, literally being so embarrassed at his performance when it's all said and done. If you go back and look at all the presidents Sporting has had recently, you can see the Godinho Lopes, like, he hasn't really showed up here and there, but because, the whole thing with Bruno Carvalho or whatever. But you look at who else have we had? Bentcourt, who no one knows a damn thing about him. Like, I can see Varandas being, like, completely disgraced, like, to the fact that, like, no one's going to give a single fuck about him. And he's not going to resign, right? Because that's going to be admitting guilt and admitting fault and admitting that he's the reason why Sporting looks like this. So he's not going anywhere. So fine, let him sit there. Let him dig himself out of a hole, which he won't. I completely don't. I hope he does, right? I mean, we want Sporting to do well, but he won't.
Yeah.
He won't. So now, fuck it.
This way,
he can dig his own grave.
Yeah. Agreed. Next question comes in from Alkushit Youth. He asks, who should our next coach be if Ponce will be also fired? So who do you want as your next coach, Nando?
Not Abel. I would like to see a foreigner. I would like to see a guy along the lines of what probably won't happen, but the guy that we had, that Bruno Carvalho had chosen before. I'd like to see a guy with ambition, a guy who's going to take a pulse for the team. I mean, I don't have a specific name in mind, because the Sporting's finances are so limited, and yet here we are talking about an Abel and them, like we just talked about, paying to go get a guy, buy out a coach. Like, it's the most ridiculous backwards mentality. If we're gonna go like the Portuguese line, I'd be okay with the Pedro Mins, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, or even that guy that used to be at Rio. What's his name? Where's he now?
Miguel Cardozo?
Cardozo, yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I mean, I'm not 100% sold on him, but I wouldn't.
Fair, yeah,
I wouldn't
mind
him
him
there.
He's a walking failure machine. He just goes somewhere, starts out good, fails. Like,
yeah, this last year and a half, I think he's been in like I know that'd be like end like last resort type thing. But I would like a Pedro Mins. I would like a guy like that if we're gonna go the Portuguese route, and we know the Campeonato Português. But what I'd really want is a foreigner, doesn't know Portugal, ready to show promise and then go get to work and has his own ideas and really doesn't give a damn what the president stuff says. Like that kind of mentality.
I mean, the only way you'd be crazy enough to take this job, right, is if you're a foreigner, right? You don't fully understand, because if you fully understand the context of everything, then why the fuck would you like tarnish your name by taking this job? Yeah. Like it's a lose-lose taking this job right now. It's not the most attractive opening in the world. I'd rather coach fucking Sunderland right now than this.
Yeah, I would agree. On a side note, the thing that I find hilarious is every time we get into the situation where we're looking into new managers, we're always linked, and I don't know why, but we're always linked to Vitor Pereira. Always, without fail. And I don't even know when the last...
passion, at least.
Okay, but he also, I swear he got 1860 Munich fucking relegated from the second to the third Bundesliga. You know what I mean? So he's even not like a. And
is he still in China?
I was just about to ask. I have no idea where he is.
I think he's still in China. I think he might have been champion.
Watch him get Scolari.
China.
That wouldn't surprise me either. If they got Scolari. But anyways, for me, the only other manager aside from Silas that I'd like to see would be I forget his name though, the ex Real Betis manager. I think he'd be a decent shout. I think he's done well with he is also. Vitor Pereira is in China. Also, guys,
linked to Vitor Pereira, for a while.
We're always linked to Vitor Pereira. Always. It's weird. And on a quick side note, I know you guys probably noticed it.
Camacho.
Sorry that I was searching up when the dispensary near me was closing. My bad on that, guys. I forgot I was on the screen share thing.
Why is it closing, dude?
It's closing at 10 p.m., man.
Oh, tonight.
No, like it closes for the night.
No, it was like going out of business.
No, my go-to dispensary has shut down, but that's a different story. That's government trying to regulate everything. But anyways, Christian, quickly to you. Next coach for Sporting.
I'll take Silas. Maybe Big Phil just got sacked in Brazil. Scolari, right? Yeah. Been linked to him before.
Yep.
I mean, if he's crazy enough, I don't think he's that crazy, because you got to be a little crazy right now to take this job.
Big facts, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
The guy that used to coach
Prepare
Benfica.
for disappointment, though.
Used to what for Benfica?
I'm saying that we should go get and this is all sarcasm, but we should go. It wouldn't surprise him if we go get Rui Vitória.
You know what's so funny? My brother was saying the same shit today too. It wouldn't surprise me either. It wouldn't, and I bet you the administration would try to sell it.
He fits the perfect pau bem mandado, like real well spoken, yes man kind of thing that like Sporting would want. The only difference is Sporting's direção is the garbage, so yeah.
Don't judge me for
as much as I hate Luis Felipe Vieira, he knows what he's doing at Benfica.
I just wanted to see where. Oh, is he still coaching?
Yeah, he's still at Al Nassr.
No, I'm sorry. I just thought of Paulo Bento. Oh, he's still coaching South Korea.
Fuck that guy. He can go fuck himself.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I don't want him.
At this point, I might even take him too, man.
He's better now than he once was, I feel like.
Hell no.
I hope so. Like, you can't get any worse. You know what it is, though? At least with Paulo Bento, I know we're getting a little sidetracked here, but at least with Paulo Bento, he at least started off well. in at least Portugal and Sporting, he started off well as a coach.
Well, at least he
there was
promoted
some
from
promise.
the
Exactly, the
academy.
promoted players. And in Portugal, I think, obviously aside from the Euros, but we had one of our better years under Paulo Bento. But on his like first or second year there, I can't remember what year it was.
We had
but,
a year there that we lost the Campeonato, and we were still in it
Oh,
at
the
the
last game.
last
Yeah.
game. Porto won it that year.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, next question we just answered because we had a two-parter because we didn't record on the 22nd. We're recording now. So thank you, David, for your question. We appreciate it. Next comment comes in from Sam Fonseca, and I said it earlier. My bad, Sam. He said, I figured out how to solve our striker problem. Stick Quats up front and tell them to defend. The goals will come pouring. Yes, I'd agree. Next question comes in from Joel Da Silva at JoeLeon_073. He asks, I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but this is too bad to be true. Convince me otherwise
I love that question.
that all what's happening isn't all a setup from the Croquettes in order to fill their pockets with the Naj deal. Wow. Honestly, that's...
I think I wouldn't put it past it, man. I think Sporting has been a huge conspiracy theory since the 80s.
I read something maybe last week saying that we already used up 50% of the Naj deal that was supposed to last us like 10 years or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. We got it paid forward a couple times to, kind of pay off some of those bank loans last season.
Yeah.
So I think possibly more than half of it is gone.
Dude, it's embarrassing.
Joel,
there's a reason why the same old guys always have their face showing up at Sporting anything all the time, every single time, bro. Right. It's not a conspiracy. There's a reason why the same voices and the same faces constantly resurface.
Yeah.
That it is what it is.
Yeah,
they know they have their hands in the pot. They don't want to have their hands out of the pot. They want to continue to have Sporting under their control. At the end of the day, if Sporting loses, sure, they might not make as much money at that time, but they continue to control the majority of the SAD. They continue to control, the finances. That if Sporting sells, like a couple of people have already been like suggesting across the record, I forget what his name was, Jose Eduardo, whatever the fuck his face is, but they're going to make money off of it. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, they profit, not Sporting.
Yeah, it's also a pretty cushy job. I mean, you make like $100K a year and literally do nothing, which is a lot of money in Portugal. So, I mean, these guys all fuck ups and they're all making $100K. Like, I mean, I don't make $100K and I fucking work my ass off. So.
Exactly. Fucking Varandas has been in this job for a year, and he's already not petitioning, but he was already proposed a pay increase. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
and he already makes more than Bruno Carvalho made.
Exactly.
No one gives a shit about that. No one complains about that.
It's close to $200K a year.
Fuck.
This club is constantly surrounded by fucking leeches.
Dude, I hate Jose Eduardo too, by the way, like with a passion.
Yeah.
I mean, and also the media platforms all these dickheads because the media isn't really our friend in this situation. So when the time comes when there's unrest, it's like, oh, let's give these shitheads their platform to speak and then project it like it's like some objective analysis or some like opinion that we should be hearing. It's like no one, like, you've been wrong about everything for like 15 years. Like no one actually cares what you think, but you're just kind of getting like propped up right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I guess this is a glorified example because, I mean, I did enjoy listening to him a bit on when he was on one of those shows. But Dias Ferreira, that's exactly who you're describing there. Dias Ferreira, I don't even remember the last time he worked at Sporting, but he's constantly up about talking about Sporting. He's constantly has these platforms to talk about sport. Fucking Paulo Futre is another one.
Bro, these guys live off of Sporting. If you
Otávio Machado.
Fuck him too, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you go and look at all of what these guys do and where they talk about Sporting and where they get their airtime, it's always in moments like these. They've been doing that for Sporting for years and years and years and years and years. And it's always the same dudes, man. I'm telling you, like, as a kid growing up, my dad couldn't stand half these guys because he would always say, like, aí está eles aproveitar o Sporting outra vez. Like, Manuel Fernandes is broke as hell, bro. Jose Eduardo is broke as hell. Like, I mean, from the perspective of like what they want to live and the lifestyle they want to live. Otavio Machado, all these guys got nothing. They lose Sporting, they lose the antenna time, the airtime that Sporting gives them. They're nothing. They'll walk down the street and no one will look one shit their way. Freaking Otavio Machado coached Porto, won at Porto.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you see Porto wanting him to hang around?
Nope.
No, and Porto's been a hell of a successful team. Like, Sporting can only dream of being as successful as Porto's been in terms of soccer since the damn 80s, or at this point ever. So, like, there's a reason why they all tend to fall around and come back to Sporting. A lot of these dudes played at Benfica and Sporting, and they don't freaking go back to Benfica to get any antenna and airtime. They come back to Sporting.
Yep. Yep. Anyways, last question comes in from Bruno at Bruno SKO23. He asks, is it time for Fernandes to step down? Obviously he won't, but can we as Sausage do something about it? Because I see this getting so much worse before it gets any better. Nando, I'll pass that one off to you. Not so much is it time for him to step down, so I think we all answered that. But is there something we can do as Sausage or even as fans? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Earlier today or yesterday, I kind of was debating. I forget what his name is. Sam. You know, we all kind of
the Irish one.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was him. I think it was him that I was talking about because he was disagreeing. He was saying that, like, as a fan, like, he's going to continue to go to games and blah 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 and pay his quotas. And I get it. Like, I'm not telling fans.
I'm the same way, to be honest, though.
I'd
rather go to the stadium and hold up a banner, you know. As
totally okay with that. Like, guys, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm totally okay with fans doing that because we all love this damn team. That's why we're talking about them. That's why we waste our time talking about them, watching them, being mad about them. And I get that. However, you guys got to think about it. We've done that for years. We've done that for years and for years and for years. And for years, we've gone the route of, like, a lienzo branco. We go to the stadium to blow our nose, and we whip out the tissue paper. We complain. We do the chants. We show up outside of the stadium here or there. It does nothing. Like, it's never done anything. It won't do anything. And like anything else in this world, I hate saying it because it's going to affect the rest of our club. Hit them where it hurts, and that's their funds. Hit them where it hurts, and that's their money. At the end of the day, if Sporting truly can't figure out how to pay players because Sporting fans can't go to a stadium, then we have a lot bigger problem than we ever thought we did, which we already believe we do because it's poorly ran, and we've talked about this before. But the one thing that it's going to do for sure, and it's happened in Europe and other clubs, it's happened in America when fans stop going to stadiums and stuff like that, and owners are forced to sell or things of that nature get going. That's embarrassing. There's nothing you can do about, like, as a cameraman, they're going to point to the guys with the things on, you know, the flags and the banners and this and the other. But they point to a nothing. That says everything you have to say. They point to a nothing. Sure, they sold their game boxes. Great. But that's embarrassing. That speaks volumes. You know, it's like that saying that, like, when you're being ignored, like, people get more pissed off when they're being ignored than somebody fights you back verbally. If Sporting fans just genuinely ignore the club, that's it. Because what's going to happen is, sure, the lads are going to suffer. But the reason why they're going to suffer is because they just don't let it get to this point where the fans are distraught. The fans are exhausted. And, of course, it's going to hurt to sit at home, like for me and for other players that would do, or for fans that would do something like that and not watch the team and not be there to support the team. But, like, what other genuine, like, solution can we do that hasn't been tried and actually, like, worked? It hasn't. Like, I can't remember the last time Sporting took a radical approach like that. I used to remember Benfica, when they went those 11 years without winning, they would not go to the stadium. Like, we could give them crap about, like, look, you're not going to the stadium. You know, you might be fair weather fans. We know we're not fair weather fans. We've shown that before. There's a reason why we wouldn't go. But it got things going, and it got things, and it hit them where it hurt. And Sporting, what are we going to do? Make posts? They don't give a damn. You know, continue to show up at the stadium, 20 to 30 fans, so that a ball or Sam TV gets a little airtime. That shit hasn't worked for over 10 years or even 20 years. Like, what, like, do you guys have a better solution? Honestly, I'm cool with opening because I would love to watch the team game after game after game if I could and give them my money. I stopped paying my quotas. I'm not going to lie. I'll say it on air. I stopped paying my quotas the second. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The second that Bruno Carvalho stopped being present because I did not like the way that they went about it. and I don't like the way the club is ran. And as a fan, I have every right to stop giving them my money if they continue to act the way in the way they've been, acting accordingly. Like it's not fair. It's not okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I have that right as a fan. If they're gonna keep fucking me over and giving me only one vote until I'm freaking 70 years old, until then I can have tons of votes, like fuck off. Like that's not fair.
Yeah, no, agreed. I still pay my cotas are paid until January anyways, but I'm still going to continue paying cotas only because it goes to the modalidade for the
That's
time
what
being.
pains me. I wish we could have a way to differentiate.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
Because
I mean,
would
there is a
totally
way.
give them my money if I knew it was going to the modalidades.
The way to differentiate is we eventually split the club from the SAD, and no. I mean that's just yeah.
Dude, that
might
be
inevitably
unprecedented, right?
happen anyways if we sell, right? But I'm not even.
What are they gonna want then? What are they gonna say then? Fuck it, Sporting SAD versus Benfica. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you really think that there's gonna be fans? I mean, sure, there's gonna be some fans that are gonna go to the game. Those fans will die out. Those are
I
old.
mean, there's fans that go to Bill and SAD games. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, because there's some fake
Like
shit.
like 12 though. To be fair,
fake
not
fans,
that
There's
many.
still 12 fans, bro.
They're fake fans. They don't know what they want.
They
That's
have an
fake.
ultras group that has 30 followers on Twitter. Okay, they have at least 30 fans.
Bro, look at the guys. Look at the fans that just sang "Happy Birthday" to Belenenses the other day at Restelo.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
That's
that was
more
beautiful.
people I've seen at that than I've
I
seen
li-
at like a Nacional Stadium game.
I like Bolninsad like claiming that 100-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are 1 year old.
Like,
This
fight
is your
those
1 year
guys.
anniversary, not your 100-year anniversary. I mean, that's really not a sustainable business model like that. They don't have a stadium like that. That club is gonna just fold eventually in the next
Yeah,
couple
it's gonna be
years.
another
I'm
like
curious to
like a
see what
Estrela
happens.
Amadora.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens if Bill and happen to find their way to the first division. Is it two Bill then, or?
It'd be beautiful.
That'll take at least like.
I mean, if
6
they keep getting promoted, they got promoted last year, correct?
Did you guys?
Yeah,
they
They were
hear,
saying what if they got promoted. Now I think it's only 4 years away. All they have to do. I mean, I know it's a stretch, but all they have to do is just constantly get promoted year in year out, and in 4 years they can make the first division. So.
Did you guys
I know
hear?
it's
I tweeted a little bit about it. There's two things, and it's kind of off topic, not really, but the dude for Manuel Serrão, the guy for Porto, right? That does the what's their show called?
Port Canal.
No. It's not. Is it the trio attack? It's the three dudes. You know, there's the fat guy for Benfica that's annoying as hell. Huh?
Oh no, that's not. That's
I'm talking about Manuel Serrão, the fat Portista.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
just
talking
can't
about?
remember the name now.
Yeah.
It's not through the attack, but it's something else. Yeah.
It's the other one. I forget what it's called too. So today or yesterday, whenever they had the show, and somebody on some Sportingista tweeted it, then I retweeted it. He had said, or he was talking about. Yeah, I'm glad you're looking it up.
Sorry, this is bothering the shit out of me.
Whatever that is, no programa something. But he was talking about how his biggest concern, if he was a Sportingista, and even as a fan of soccer, is the fact that Varandas is just straight up not a leader. Like, he's like, there's nothing you can argue about Pinto Costa being a leader. There's nothing you can argue about even Luis Felipe Vieira if he's a leader or not. There's nothing you can argue about Bruno Carvalho being a leader. You can argue about other things, but he's not a leader. And Varandas is just simply not a leader. When you at that top of position can't be a leader, then it trickles down. The trickle-down effect is real. And then they genuinely go on to talk about that. You've got Luis Felipe Vieira today answering a bunch of questions about Benfica and then still taking some time to answer about Sporting. When you, it's embarrassing, guys, right? We've talked about this all the time.
It went from a point where the only thing that would come out of his mouth about Sporting were insults to now it's like, oh, no, I pity them. Yeah, it is.
It's sad, dude, and I'm tired of that shit, bro.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm tired of bro. I hate that I live in America sometimes because I wish I was there. Because if I was there, I don't know what I would do. I'd stake out outside of his house or some shit.
Yeah, no.
Every time he walks out the house, I would throw eggs at him.
I'm tired of this pittiness on us. Like when we were on top and when we were threatening, it was Sporting this, Sporting that, and now that we're not, it's like tadinho do Sporting.
What? But it used to be coitadinho do Sporting until Bruno Carvalho, and then it stopped being coitadinho do Sporting.
Exactly, yeah, and it's like the Portuguese league needs the Sporting to be good. It's like fuck off, man. You guys were fucking constantly attacking us. Like
he makes more money than Bruno Carvalho made. Already. Sure. He wants more money Why the fuck are Sportingistas okay with that?
Yeah.
First off, do we know for sure if Porto and Benfica have the same type? I think one of them do, if not both, but like the same type of voting system.
I think they do, but I
think
could
they
be
do.
wrong. I think they do. I
Like
think all Portuguese
it's the
clubs have it.
most fucking bullshit, anti-democratic, complete populist voting shit ever.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird. It's definitely weird.
There's a reason why that happens that way too. Look who it favors, bro. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying older people are dumb and they don't have, the right to vote or they don't have good ideas. But the general majority of them have been feeling and pulling for the same way since Sporting was last winning before the 80s hit.
It's also like it's like we're repeating a cycle constantly, and it's like nobody wants to learn from
Sporting
their
was
mistakes.
founded off of elitist mentality, guys. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys truly know the all the history of Sporting, but it was founded off the mindset of elitist mentality, and there's still a very elitist mentality that continues to just live off of Sporting and keeps on just that cloud over Sporting. And when Bruno Carvalho became president, it went from a very elitist mentality to more of the popular vote, the man of the people. He did mistakes. Fuck it. We're done talking about that. But that's where it changed, and it pissed off a lot of people because they didn't think that fans would actually come out in drones and vote that way.
Yeah.
And now we're broken everywhere. Do you guys have a general, like, if you go to the games, like Christian was just saying, you take the banners, you write what you write, and you chant what you chant. Like, I get it, but at the same time, it's gotten us nowhere.
Yeah. Sorry, and quickly just to go back to it. When we were talking about what we can do, my only fear in terms of maybe not giving money to the club, especially not paying the cottage, um, it's not only that we'll land back to a situation where we were in 2012, 2013, but it's that we won't get the right guy to sort of get us out of it. Again, say what you will about Bruno Carvalho. I'm not here to argue whether he was a good or bad president, but the fact of the matter is he took us from bankruptcy to a club breathing again, to a club with multiple teams, to a club where now we even have one of the more expensive modalidades, which is basketball, and we can afford it, right? Whereas back in 2012, 2013, we were thinking of not even having any more modalidades or any more modality teams anyways. So that's my fear in terms of not paying cotas, not going to games, not buying merchandise, is that we can leave the club into a hole where we don't get the right guy to fix it for us, but then at the same time, it's like we have to do something. And you mentioned it earlier too. If we're fucked because we can't put like asses to a seat, then what are these guys upstairs doing? So it is, like you said, a catch-22. So yeah, that's really all I had to say about that. Christian, do you have anything else to add on that, or?
No, I mean, not really. I mean, that's what we kind of need, is someone to kind of ride a populist wave similar to what Bruno Carvalho rose to get into power. I mean, because that is how we got into power.
Yeah.
And then the closest candidate to that was probably Benedito, but I mean, I don't think João Benedito is gonna save us at this point. Like,
No, I don't think so either. Interestingly enough, sorry, on Sporting160 today, Carlos Vieira was on. So I feel like
I can't wait to listen to that.
Me neither. Me too. So
he got fucked last time because they
He did.
attached him to Bruno Carvalho and they didn't let him run.
Exactly.
So I mean, yeah, a guy like that maybe could be a potential solution, but at the same time, like, I don't know if they'll let him run.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not expelled with Bruno Carvalho, right? He was just suspended for a year or something like that.
He's not expelled, but I don't, like, let's just say there's an Assembleia Geral in December to determine, and then
really?
No, let's just say if there was in the next 6 months, and we have a first one, we agree that we need new elections, then we have another one, and in 6 months we're voting again. It's like, is Vieira really going to be allowed to be on the ballot? And then,
sure,
like, is a ballot of, I mean, let's just say everyone that ran last time runs again, and we have to choose from those. Like, and let's just say for argument's sake, Bandito's not an option. Like, imagine choosing from those other 7, like, who the new president is. Like, I'd rather fucking like chop my pinky off than vote for any of those clowns. It's just like,
Yeah.
which croquette do you think will fuck us more the least? And that's like that's not the choice that I want to be, having. So yeah, I don't know what we need, but we need we need someone to kind of rise or kind of have a populist wave, kind of preach bringing the power back to the Sauciers, stuff like that. And it's not like because we've gotten friendlier with George Menz, obviously, again, and it's like, oh, so now that we're friendlier with George Menz, we can sign Hesse. It's like, having a relationship with that guy hasn't panned anything out, and we sold Thierry Courtois for 12 million. It's like, having a relationship with that guy hasn't really even brought us anything, So I don't know. I think things are gonna get worse before they get better. So everyone better buckle up, because this is the beginning. This isn't the end of it. This is the beginning of it.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyways, let's go to a quick little preview before signing off here. I didn't realize how much time we've talked for now. But anyways, next game is against Rio Ave for Taça da Liga. It is at home. Last time we played Rio Ave was at home, and we lost 3-2 on 3 crazy penalties. Prediction, Nando. What are your thoughts?
If the same coach is there, which is going to be, then we don't win. I don't think we'll win. I think we'll tie. Simple as that. 1-1.
1-1. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, a toothless draw sounds about right.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna win. I'll say a 2-1 win, but wouldn't be surprised if we lost or tied. And then the next league game is also another Monday night against Desportivo de Chaves, where we'll come against the Agustinacio. Which, now that I think about it, would be an interesting little pickup, really, if we do think about him. But anyways,
they won't bring him back. They will not bring him back.
Oh, right. I forgot about recent history. My bad. Yeah, you're right. Christian, what are your thoughts on Desportivo de Chaves against Sporting?
All right, so they currently sit in the basement right now with 1 win and 5 losses. It is a decent opportunity to get a result under our belt again. We'll have Bruno Fernandes back. I think we win 1-0.
Wow. And Nando?
I think we'll win. Some bullshit on goal, maybe going our way. 1-0.
I'm gonna go with a 2-2 draw.
Well, who will coach that game?
Ponce.
It's on Monday.
On Thursday.
On Thursday, it's definitely Ponce. On Monday, that's a great question. I don't know.
Let's just say we don't win on Thursday. There's no way Ponce coaches on Monday. So who the fuck will coach that game? Fernandes. Fernandes will coach.
Manuel Fernandes.
Apparently, Thiago Fernandes was sending people on Instagram a video of him at Arsenal or some shit. I don't know if you guys seen that or not.
I did see that.
That's weird.
Yeah, he coaches a team, man. He's a coach's deal. I mean, why are you hitting people, random fans' DMs up, or why are you replying to random fans' DMs is the better question. Yeah, and it wasn't even about him. It was like someone was like, Daniel Bragança scored or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's that? Sorry.
Daniel Bragança scored, and then he sends back the video of him celebrating a 0-0 draw. It doesn't even really make sense fully, but
yeah, weird.
Whatever. He's also not the answer, by the way.
No, please, dear God. Anyways, guys, that was podcast 54. We'll see you guys soon, hopefully for the next 2 games. Thank you everybody for bringing in your comments. Thank you for following us on Twitter. Of course, follow us on Instagram at Sporting160EN. And yeah, we'll see you next. And I mean, I usually see Viva Sporting here, but I just want Sporting to be alive, you know, like.
Viva Sporting sad.
Yeah.
I was just about to say something.
Varandas. Wait, what's the thing?
Yo, Varandas, vai pro caralho.
No, the other one.
I
Varandas.
got carried away. I'm sorry.
Cabrão. Something de missão. All right.
We should just
Ciao,
make a
guys.
video where we all find them all out. All right. See you guys.
Yeah.